Hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a CBT therapist and forensic psychologist. Today I want us to think about how our mental health and our mental well-being can change in the winter months. So firstly, to think about why it can change, that changing through the seasons, even if it is predictable, such as we know that the weather is going to change, we know that the seasons are coming, that change can still be difficult because it causes uncertainty. And it sometimes can be difficult for our brain to cope with that uncertainty, even if we have been used to seasonal changes for some time. And with that change, it can sometimes create a feeling of loss because we when we think that something's changing, whether it's positive or negative, there is the idea that we've lost something, whether that is losing more daylight or maybe losing being outside more. There is a feeling of loss that is associated with change. And with the third thing to kind of think about is why it does impact is the actual physical changes. That there's changes in temperatures, there's changes in the amount of daylight, and they can both impact upon our mood. And even there's some schools of thought that see that the shorter winter days and the fewer hours of daylight can actually disrupt what's going on internally inside of our body, because this disruption can affect the production of melatonin, and that's a hormone that regulates our sleeping patterns. And we know that when our sleep is disturbed, that can impact upon our health and our mood in general. So let's just think about then what we can actually do to help ourselves. So, when there is change that is coming or change is afoot, having a schedule that suits you can be really quite beneficial. So, it's about setting a schedule and then obviously sticking to that schedule, because that creates a routine and it creates some certainty when we know that the changes in kind of what's going around us in the seasons creates that uncertainty. So we can create certainty for ourselves via a routine. Then within that schedule, thinking about making the most of the daylight. That we obviously we have less daylight, but it's about making the most of that. So when it is lighter, making sure that we do get outside. And you may even want to think about a light box, because that can actually mimic the natural light, or you can obviously get outside, but being creative with how you get outside. Or you may, as I said, have the light box and think about how you can brighten your room. It may be about just opening your curtains when it's daylight and getting as much kind of sunlight on you as possible. I think that it's needless to say that it's about being proactive, that we know that these changes are coming and we know if we are more impacted by the winter months. So being able to put things in place before things get worse for us. It could be about knowing that we need to change or increase our exercise, or looking at our diet and making time for that physical activity. And we know that exercise does boost our mood, and it doesn't mean that we have to go running for miles or lifting the heaviest weights at the gym. It can just be going for a short walk can be enough. So 20 minutes is kind of that standard that we want to go for. And we may want to think about journaling. We may want to think about writing our thoughts down, writing our experiencing down, getting it out of our head and onto some paper can be really helpful to get us to see what we're actually experiencing in our brain, but to help us to think about ways that we can potentially combat that as well. And needless to say, being kind to yourself, that you're not alone in probably what you're experiencing, and being able to get that cozy winter feeling. Think about ways that you can find joy. Think about if there's favourite films that you like to watch, if there's things that you like to eat during the winter months, or things that you like to do. But being kind to yourself in what you do, but also being kind to your mind. Not critiquing yourself and noticing if you are and doing something about it. I hope you found that helpful. Please like and subscribe and let me know in the comments anything else that you'd like to see. Thank you and take care.